don't like it. I'm not happy about it because I appreciate her and what she has meant to me, what she has meant to the show, what she has meant to the network, what she's meant to the business.
Stephen A. Smith didn't just sit back when Molly Qerim suddenly left ESPN. He stood up to the network's top bosses, demanding they treat her fairly and pay her what she deserved. But this wasn't just about Molly. It revealed a deeper problem with how ESPN treats its on-air talent. Molly's sudden exit shocked everyone, but the real story behind it is full of drama, power struggles, and hidden tensions at the network. Molly, who had been the face of First Take for almost 10 years, didn't get a big farewell or emotional goodbye. She simply walked out. According to Stephen A., her exit wasn't planned, it happened fast, which usually means something serious went wrong. And by speaking out, Stephen A. risked his own reputation to call out the network's unfair treatment. This isn't just about one host, it's about who really has power at ESPN.
Last night, she abruptly resigned as the host of the show. And to say that I'm quite sad about it is an understatement. Molly is a friend. Molly is a co-worker. Molly is somebody that I have leaned on many occasions in the past, as she has done when it comes to me. We've been partners on the show for the last 10 years. And a lot of times, some of these things happen and it's just uncomfortable.
Now here's where things get even more surprising. Stephen A. Smith, who earns $20 million a year from ESPN, started making comments that seemed like they were aimed at Molly. He kept saying, "I'm not talking about Molly," but then he'd launch into speeches about knowing your worth, having leverage, and being valued, the same things Molly was reportedly fighting with ESPN about. So, even though he claimed he wasn't talking about her, his words told a different story.
We don't get to define our own value. We don't get to define our own worth. We don't get to sit there and summarily say, this is who I am and this is what I'm going to do. And guess what? I don't give a damn what anybody say unless you have the leverage to do it.
Let's be honest, Stephen A. was talking about Molly, whether he said her name or not. And he wasn't just sending a message to her, he was calling out ESPN, too. Look at the timing. Right when reports came out that Molly was offered $2 million a year by a rival network, Stephen A. went on air talking about how you can't just ask for more money unless you have leverage. That didn't feel like a coincidence, it felt like pressure, and let's face it, if anyone at ESPN has the power to challenge the top executives, it's Stephen A. He's their biggest star and highest paid personality. If he says, pay Molly what she's worth, the network has to take it seriously. But here's the twist, instead of protecting Molly, he may have made things worse. By public
details, quite frankly, are none of y'all business, but it's not as if I know all the details. It was a contract negotiation that was going on. ESPN certainly did not want to lose her, but in the end, she made a decision to walk away from the show effective immediately. As you see from her Instagram post, her Instagram story last night, to be blunt, it came as a shock. I was not aware that this is something that she was contemplating doing, but in the end, she made her decision, and we have to move on.
That statement blew up online, and for good reason. If Molly's exit was just about contract negotiations, why would she quit so suddenly? Why not finish the season or have a proper goodbye on air? That didn't add up, and soon, analysts across YouTube started putting the pieces together. On one side, ESPN XX reportedly lowballed her, offering way less than she believed she was worth. On the other side, Stephen A. Smith, the same guy who once proudly claimed he fought for others in contract talks, was now saying things like, "We all answer to somebody." So, people started asking, was he really standing up for Molly, or was he backing ESPN? Insiders say there was tension between Stephen A. and Molly over money, power, and who really had influence. And things may have reached a breaking point when ESPN allegedly gave Molly a contract offer many saw as disrespectful.
When you pay Stephen A. Smith $20 million, that means, okay, well, whoever his co-host is, they're going to want an exorbitant amount of money. And so she may have been making $2.5, $3 million as the host. Well, when Stephen A. is sitting there making 20, well, maybe now she wants to make 10.
One commentator said it straight, Stephen A. Smith is the elephant in the room. His massive $20 million salary sets the tone for everyone else at ESPN. So naturally, when his co-hosts, like Molly, see that number, they start asking for more too. But ESPN doesn't want to pay them at that level, and that creates serious tension. In Molly's case, that tension may have pushed her to walk away. Now here's where the real drama comes in. Stephen A. tried to make it seem like Molly's exit was just her personal choice, saying it was her story to tell. But the pattern tells a different story. Just weeks earlier, he was proudly talking about how he helped Shannon Sharpe get his deal at ESPN. He's gone public supporting others before, so why not Molly? Was it because ESPN's top bosses shut him down? Or was he just not willing to risk his own standing to go to bat for her? That's what makes this story explosive. For once, the mask slipped. Stephen A., the face of sports media, was caught between staying loyal to a co-host and staying in good standing with the network that signs his checks. In the end, Molly's out. Stephen A. is still in. The network still holds the power, but here's the twist many missed. By turning Molly's exit into a conversation about contracts and leverage on live TV, Stephen A. may have accidentally revealed that he did try to step in. When he says things like, "We all answer to somebody," or "You need leverage to define your worth," what he's really saying is, he fought, and he lost. That asterisk is the part ESPN hoped would stay behind closed doors if Stephen A. Smith, ESPN's $20 million star, couldn't secure fair pay for Molly Qerim. What does that really say about ESPN's priorities? It shows that the network values protecting its profits more than supporting the very people who help build and sustain its brand, and that's what this story is really about. In this video, we're unpacking everything, from Stephen A.'s strange, carefully worded comments, to Molly's rumored offers from rival networks, to the behind-the-scenes whispers of betrayal. Because the deeper you dig, the more it all starts to make sense. Stephen A. did confront ESPN's top brass, but when the dust settled, Molly was the one who walked away. And here's the most shocking part, the real fallout might still be coming. Molly Qerim's exit wasn't just another resignation. It was the spark that set off something bigger, a ripple that could turn into a tidal wave. And the irony? The one person who may have been able to stop it, Stephen A. Smith, ended up becoming the center of the backlash. Think about it. For over 10 years, Molly held first take together. She wasn't just a moderator, she was the show's balance. She kept Stephen A.'s rants from going off the rails, managed fiery debates between Max Kellerman and others, and created the space where everyone else could shine. She gave first take its rhythm and structure, but when it came time to renegotiate her contract, ESPN reportedly treated her like she was disposable. That's not just a theory, her sudden, silent departure says a lot. If it had been a respectful parting, ESPN would have given her a big send-off, a farewell show, tribute clips, something. Instead, she vanished overnight, and news of her leaving leaked before she even addressed it herself and Stephen A. He went on air and made it sound like it was just her choice, her issue. No defense. No public support like he's shown for others. In the end, it looked like he chose to protect the system that made him rich, instead of standing firmly beside the person who helped make that system work.
Have negotiations and you're talking with people and you're going back and forth and you're hearing things that you may not want to hear or feeling things you may not want to feel, even though you're valued, even though people acknowledge those kind of things. We live in a world where we have to grow.
That wasn't just commentary, it was a lecture, and fans heard it loud and clear. Stephen A. Smith wasn't defending Molly, he was defending ESPN. Let's break it down. Stephen A. built his entire brand on being brutally honest. He calls out athletes, coaches, even executives, and no one is off limits. But when it came to Molly, everything changed. He avoided names, used vague phrases like, "We all answer to somebody," and danced around the issue. Why? Because behind the scenes, Stephen A. had already gone to the top, to ESPN's decision-makers like Bob Iger, Jimmy Pitaro, and the other suits upstairs, reportedly trying to use his influence to get Molly a better deal after they lowballed her. But they weren't budging. To them, Stephen A. was the star, the $20 million man they'd already invested in, and Molly was secondary. She wasn't the ratings draw, she wasn't the headline, she was just the moderator. In corporate terms, that meant expendable. So Stephen A. found himself at a crossroads: keep pushing for Molly and risk his own standing, or protect what he had and stay in line.
Molly is a friend. Molly is a co-worker. Molly is somebody that I have leaned on many occasions in the past, as she has done when it comes to me. We've been partners on the show for the last 10 years. And a lot of times, some of these things happen, and it's just uncomfortable.
If Molly was really that important to Stephen A., then why didn't he use his $20 million influence to help secure her future at ESPN? Fans weren't the only ones asking. Podcasts and YouTube shows lit up with criticism, accusing Stephen A. of putting his own brand above his longtime co-host. One commentator said it best: "Don't get clicks at the cost of the person who built your empire with you." And yet, Stephen A. doubled down. He kept saying, "It's not my story to tell," while still saying just enough to spark controversy. That's classic Stephen A. Protect himself while letting the drama drive headlines. But here's what many missed. For Molly, it wasn't just about money. It was about *respect star. Sources close to her said the contract talks with ESPN felt insulting, with reports that she was lowballed, especially when others like Malika Andrews and Mina Kimes were securing big money deals. Just imagine how that felt. Molly had spent nearly a decade helping turn First Take into one of ESPN's biggest shows. She was there through Max Kellerman's departure, through viral debates, through internal shakeups and changes. She was a constant, the one who kept the show grounded. And when it was finally her turn to renegotiate, ESPN treated her like she didn't matter. That's not just poor business, it's a slap in the face. And then came the twist: rival networks didn't hesitate. As soon as news of her departure hit, offers reportedly came flying in, multi-year, multi-million-dollar deals from Fox, Amazon, and even quiet whispers about Netflix entering the sports space. Molly walked away from ESPN, but she didn't walk away empty-handed, and that speaks volumes about who really saw her value. Everyone saw Molly's value, except the very network she dedicated nearly 2 decades of her life to. That's why her exit wasn't gradual or carefully planned, it was immediate. She didn't just walk away, she sprinted. Because staying would have meant accepting less money, less respect, and constantly playing second fiddle to a co-host earning 10 times her salary. Now, this is where Stephen A.'s role becomes critical. Insiders believe he did advocate for Molly, at least to a point. He may have gone to ESPN's top executives, reminded them how valuable she was, maybe even warned them how bad it would look to let her go. But when they said no, he didn't push further. He folded. And that's the difference between Stephen A. and someone like Charles Barkley, who has openly taken pay cuts to keep his inside the NBA team intact. Barkley gets it, the chemistry is the product. Stephen A., on the other hand, hasn't shown he's willing to sacrifice even a small piece of his massive $20 million deal to keep his team together. So when Stephen A. says, "We all answer to somebody," what he's really saying is, "I tried, but my bosses said no, and I wasn't going to risk my own deal for her." And that's the heartbreaking part of this whole situation. Because Molly never wanted her exit to go public the way it did. She even posted that she was disappointed the news leaked early. And yet, it was Stephen A. who told millions of viewers she had resigned. Whether he meant to or not, he became the face of her departure, and here's the painful irony. The same man who built his reputation on loyalty, who bragged about going to war for his colleagues, is now being accused of letting one of his closest allies down when it mattered most. So the question people are now asking is this: was Stephen A. wrong for protecting his own bag? Or was ESPN so ruthless that even he couldn't save her? That debate is still raging online. But one thing's clear, this was never just a Molly versus ESPN story. It's a story about power, loyalty, money, and what happens when all three collide. That it's a case study in how corporate America chews up even its most loyal talent the moment the numbers don't line up. And the most telling part? Stephen A., the loudest voice in sports media, went quiet when it mattered most. So ask yourself this: if Stephen A. couldn't protect Molly, someone he called a partner and ally, can he even protect himself? And when ESPN's empire finally starts to crack under its own weight, will he be the last man standing, or just the next one out the door? If you found this video insightful, go ahead and click on any of the cards on your screen for more deep dives just like this.